has not yet made his decision public. There's some speculation that he may come back to Ohio State. It is possible that we're reading into this just a little bit too much. Justin Fields in 2021 waited until the last day to declare. Does name, image, and likeness change things a little bit? And maybe CJ truly is considering a return back, but it feels like his draft stock has never been higher since that performance versus Georgia. I would be surprised if he forgoes the NFL draft.
College football right now, CJ Stroud is reportedly considering staying at Ohio State for his final year. There would be a massive NIL deal in play, delaying his departure for the NFL for one more season. This is one of the benefits I've talked about of NIL. Players, top QBs, top players in the country considering and staying in school for one extra year, delaying going to the NFL because of NIL deals, because of being able to get paid. And that increases the quality of college football all around.
This Monday, January 16th, to decide if he's going to go back for his senior season. And if he does, there's going to be some pretty major implications on this draft and next year's draft. So next year's draft class is already really talented at quarterback anyways. You got guys like Caleb Williams and Drake May, as well as plenty of others. Think J.J. McCarthy, Quinn Ewers, Shedeur Sanders, dudes to keep your eye on. And if you add Stroud to that, that could potentially be one of the greatest quarterback classes ever. Not to get too ahead of it, of course, but you could see teams punting on this draft and the 2023 season at quarterback if they can't get their hands on Bryce Young to get a better pick for the upcoming draft. Speaking of Bryce Young, if Stroud actually goes back to Ohio State, the price of that first overall pick for a trade-up goes way, way, way up. You know, the Bears are definitely hoping that Stroud goes back to school.
All right, you guys, this is the Keeping It Raw podcast. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Click on that bell so that you'll be notified. And without further ado, let's get into it. We got to talk about the trending topic on today. That's quarterback CJ Stroud of Ohio State. Will he decide to leave or will he decide to stay? Will he take his talents into the NFL draft this season in 2023? Or will he decide to sit back and come out with the 2024 NFL draft class? Now, definitely, CJ Stroud is definitely currently one of the top quarterbacks to be taken in this year's draft class. Is between him and Bryce Young. I don't think that any other quarterback stands a chance besides Bryce Young. Both of these quarterbacks are pretty much elite quarterbacks. And we know for the past couple seasons as well, CJ Stroud has always been one of the quarterbacks that has been a Heisman finalist, not winning the Heisman, but being one of the finalists. Now, he's definitely has some success at Ohio State, and the only knock on him is that he has not been able to beat Michigan the last two seasons. But other than that, man, the kid is a great quarterback, can deliver the football in the pocket. Definitely, that's something that he worked on all season, is being able to throw the football, working on his mechanics, and more so than him using his legs, he used his arms a lot at Ohio State. He threw the ball a lot. You know, you would expect for a guy like him who is that dual threat quarterback and who is mobile in the pocket to be able to use his legs a little bit more. That's the only thing that I wanted to see with him, to be able to use his legs just a little bit more than what he did and not be timid. But other than that, man, CJ Stroud definitely, man, he can throw that football. He can toss the football, and I definitely think that he will be one of the top quarterbacks taken, if not the top quarterback taken. Now, currently, Chicago Bears hold the right to the #1 spot, and definitely Chicago is going to get a lot of calls whether or not they want to stay. I think that Chicago wants the draft capital because it's going to help them get their team better, help them be able to get weapons for Justin Fields. Now, there's talk about Justin Fields being traded for Bryce Young and things of that nature, but I definitely think that Chicago is going to they're going to keep Justin Fields, man. I think the only thing with Justin Fields is why he's developing. He just needs to be able to get the weapons. Now, you saw when Justin Fields was at Ohio State how he was able to deliver the football. He was really, really good, man, at throwing that football at Ohio State. And then he gets into the NFL and he's running for his life. And pretty much he doesn't have a great offensive line. So they're going to have to beef that offensive line up for Justin Fields. And they're going to have to be able to just get him some targets and some weapons over there. But with CJ Stroud, who's another Ohio State quarterback, definitely, man, the talent is there with this kid. You know, some say that he just needs the heart to be able to play, but he delivered, man. I can't say nothing about what this kid did against Georgia because they had an opportunity to win that football game. And CJ Stroud definitely was lights out, and they almost had a chance to upset, or no, I shouldn't even say upset because Ohio State is known for being one of the best colleges in college football. So they had a chance to beat the Georgia Bulldogs, but they fell short. And I know he was probably disappointed that he did not get a chance to play in a national title game. But it is what it is. But the biggest thing with him right now is whether or not he's going to stay in school. And is he looking to get the huge NIL deal that's going to keep him in school? Now, right now, we know that the NIL deal is definitely kind of controlling college football right now, whether guys are hitting the transfer portal or they're deciding to stay with their team, or the team that they're with is giving them huge NIL deals. Those guys are taking it, man. You know, back in times past, you didn't have these type of deals going on in college football. You couldn't get paid for your name, image, and likeness. Even though you were a very, very popular football player in college, you couldn't get these type of things. But now, you know, he could be looking at a lucrative deal that would keep him at Ohio State. But definitely, if he does decide to come out in 2024, it's going to be a lot of quarterbacks coming out in 2024. If everybody comes out next season, you got guys like Caleb Williams, you have J.J. McCarthy, you had Drake May, you have Jordan Travis, you have Michael Penix, and then C.J. Stroud definitely he's still going to be one of the top quarterbacks taken. So you have a lot of quarterbacks that will be coming out in 2024, and that class is loaded. This was actually supposed to be the year where a lot of the quarterbacks would come out, but a lot of these quarterbacks that were seniors decided to return back to school for whatever reason. They decided to turn back to school for another season. So definitely, man, I love this kid, C.J. Stroud's game, man. I think that he has the opportunity to do some great things. Now, not everybody's not in love with his game. Not everybody thinks that he's a great quarterback and things of that nature. But you can say that he has won while he has been at Ohio State. He hasn't, you know what I'm saying, he hasn't had the big wins as far as being able to win a national title and the Big Ten championship lately. But, you know, the team is still a winning team, man. Ohio State is still a winning football program. And definitely, man, Ohio State definitely knows how to pick players and get the talent to make that a well-oiled machine at Ohio State. So whether he decides to leave or whether he decides to stay is going to be totally on him. You know, he can leave this season, and definitely he still will be considered one of the top quarterbacks taken in the draft class. I definitely think that it's between him and Bryce Young that can go number one overall. A lot of people say Will Levis could be the number one quarterback taken, but I just don't see it because there was a lot of inconsistency with Will Levis this season. So I just don't see it. And then if you stack up Will Levis, if you stack up his body of work against C.J. Stroud's body of work, then you know they're nothing the same. They're totally different. You know what I'm saying? C.J. Stroud has been able to kill it in college football, and Will Levis has been kind of mediocre at best, but he can play. He does have a great deep ball, and he is a very talented quarterback as well. But I just don't think that he had the type of college career that C.J. Stroud has had. So whether or not this kid decides to stay, man, it's going to be on him. You know, but Monday is the deadline for him to come out and notify the NFL board whether or not he's going to declare for the NFL draft, or is he going to decide to stay with the Ohio State Buckeyes and play one more season with one of the best weapons in college football, Marvin Harrison. So I can't wait to see what C.J. Stroud is going to do by Monday. Whether he leaves or stay is going to be totally on him. And I think he's going to do what he feels is best for him at the time. Whether he decides to go to the NFL this season in 2023, he can also decide to declare for the draft the next year after, and still be considered one of the top quarterbacks to be looked at and be taken in the 2024 NFL draft class. All right, you guys, this is Raw Detroit, and this is the Keeping It Raw podcast. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and don't miss.